with everything that's been going on with the Epstein files, I want to mention names of the names that have been exposed, revealed. I think I'll actually save that for another video. Maybe I will keep this short today. And I want to anonymously discuss the characters in my building, right? Maybe you can guess if you know who they are. Maybe if I can describe them to you, you can figure out how they're fucking up your operation. At least that's my opinion of what they're doing. Like if I were to be part of your crew, I would be upset at the results of what the interactions with this person has caused to the group, if you understand what I'm saying. So, the first thing, the reason why I'm making this video, just to be very clear, because I don't really want to keep coming back to do this. I do this more as like updates to let you know I'm still alive. I'm still mentally sane. I'm still dealing with this shit. Uh, there are efforts being made per se, uh, that I feel may be designed to get me to shut up, and I am able to if it is performative enough. It looks like things are happening. But I also want to discuss psyops. Uh, Psyops has become a more familiar word, similar to gang stalking. This is not going to be a short video. This is going to be a long video. Because we're going to get into these things, and it takes a little bit of time to get into them. So similar to gang stalking, I had zero clue I didn't even know what the word psyop was. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was a thing. And then now, like with gang stalking, as I look at videos on YouTube, I do a lot of my research on YouTube because I know you can't believe everything you find on the internet. With this new discovery of psyops, there's actually a lot of it's like the fake news that Trump talks about, but he's part of it. Part of it is narrative control. When you think back to like Patty Hearst, and how she got abducted and then they brainwashed her, it's the same thing that I'm going through today. Um, it's crazy. Her Peggy Hearst, Patty Hearst, Margaret. They had a Margaret in their family, I want to say. Off topic, off subject. Hearsts also have a very interesting trust. The Hearst Trust is supposed to keep them from ruining their legacy. A lot of, I don't know how much people know what this relates to, like how I'm relating all of these things. This is going to relate all of this back to the elites. This relates it back to bloodlines. This relates it back to eugenics. This relates it back to them studying gifted minds. This relates it back to cloning. These are not conspiracy theories anymore. These are things that the Epstein files have proven that people with money really do. And I've mentioned it before, like if you have all the money that you could possibly think of that you need in the world, what is stopping you from doing anything that you want? Not much. Not much, because the law, if you are paying off the law, judges, cops, you really can do anything you want. And that's kind of what we're seeing now with the Epstein files. I have not even we haven't gotten into this list of things I came to talk about, and I have not even started to dive into the rabbit hole of them. There was a certain name that I was given to look into, and the relations to research on gifted minds, pressuring them, forcing them to split, altars to be created that are then used to play out demonic, evil activities that they have planned. So I am in the middle of experiencing that, where they are trying to set me up, right? This is what I've been hearing all along from what they wanted to seem like voices in my head, but it's actual V2K of them saying, we're setting you up for credit card fraud. They really are. They really are, and I'm getting closer to being able to prove how it's absolutely possible through brainwave transmission, the neural monitoring unit inside of an iPhone 16, um, the my knowledge that remote neural monitoring exists and is actually happening to me. Um, but let's get into these MK Ultra like tactics. So I went grocery shopping yesterday. I went to Costco. I often go to Costco every 2 weeks. Um, I try because there are things that I need and I can't get everything at once because I have a small apartment, um, a limited ability to move things up and down the stairs. Uh, there just so happens to be one particular person, and I can't remember if there was somebody previously before this person lived in our building, but there is one particular person, and I don't know what this relates to me being stalked or them being hungry. But the coincidence is this one particular person, it's the same person, right? There's a handful of people in this building. So, what it makes me feel like is either this person has been tasked with looking in my cart every time I come in, or this person has an obsession with it. Like their trauma from when they were a kid is like not having food in the house or something. Or I don't know what the relation is, but there is some kind of need for this particular person to have their eyes see what is physically inside of my shopping cart. And it sounds insane, but 2 years ago, around the time that my iPhone, like September of whatever year it was, that iPhone had a really big hack on all the devices. That's when I started noticing people around Costco looking at the food that I'm buying. They look at it and to the point where it did make me paranoid. Like, what are all these people doing around me, staring so intently at what it is that I'm buying? I stopped making grocery shopping lists because at the time I had suspected there's some way of people being able to have access to my thoughts. So if I make a shopping list, that's where I see these people with their headphones on. It's like very obvious placement of repetitive things, right? They're playing on my autistic ability to notice patterns, right? So this sets up the whole MK Ultra brainwashing thing. If they have the ability to know which aisle of the grocery store I'm going to be on, right? They have the ability to use their vast network that's paid for by, let's say, hypothetically, drug money, fraud money, check fraud money, the money that they get from committing credit card fraud because they have access to other people who are being remotely monitored. Um, and that's what makes me think back to the numbers Epstein put out, where he said 400,000 times 30,000. So if you imagine, if you could get access to 30,000 wealthy people who had $400,000, or vice versa, 400,000 wealthy people that you could pilfer $30,000 from, imagine what kind of pedophile empire you could run, PDF empire you could run. Um, I'm new to this, so I have to be careful about the words that I choose to use, because as I watch these other videos, I realize that YouTube, also media source outlet, controls what we are able to say. Similar, they censor us by providing us uh, guidelines on how we are supposed to conduct ourselves online. So this is not really true freedom of speech, but we do have a good amount of ability to express ourselves with the hopes that others out there looking for answers in their situation will find what we are saying and we can connect the dots. So much. They are right now, as an autistic person, ADHD, so I can go both ways, right? It is, there's so much. I get to pick which side I want to play. I could play both. I could play neither and just shut down. I don't want to shut down because this is too important. There's so many things involved. This is not about me, although my experience is very much about me. This is my purpose for continuing to speak on this is because I am not the only one. There are other kids out there, and I'm going to explain to you how these kids are being handled, and this is going to point you back to their handlers. So when I mentioned that I was a ward of the California court system, what does that mean to a PDF mob ring? That means that there's very much a good potential for me to just disappear and nobody care. So what does that mean? That sets me up for their experiments. And then I want to say that if the California court system gets a hold of enough GATE students or enough people that they can pick and choose who they play with or who gets to go where, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand? So like it's the SLDS system slides or whatever. Is that what all the people that I think have relations to Allied Universal are telling me about? It's like slide. What does slide mean? SLDS. That's the monitoring system that follows you from when you're a youth until when you're an adult. Is that the system that they're picking kids to traffic from? Do you understand? This is very simple and very easy to figure out, but you have people being silenced. The people who talk about this stuff, 12:12 on the clock, this shit's gonna go out there. This is the universe. As far as my videos being played is 12 minutes and 12 seconds. We are going, we cannot be silent about this anymore. It's obvious. Everyone allows it because they are profiting from it. It is greed. All of this, all of the harassment I've experienced has everything to do with the same people who are in the Epstein files. There's different levels to it. It depends on how much money you have. There are names I need to research that tie very closely back to people that I had to interact with on a daily basis. I found out there was like a head person at Paul Weiss, Los Angeles law firm. I saw something about DLA Piper in there. I worked for law firms that dealt with these firms on a regular basis. So, these firms or had knowledge of or were classmates of, I wonder how many of these people can be tied back to UCLA, UCLA Law, UCLA Medical, because my medical experience, right, has been directed at the hands, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, my medical care, my treatment program has been prescribed at the hands of UCLA doctors. The one doctor I agreed with was magically removed from the practice that I was going to and unreachable. And I don't know how much of this has to do with people who like to control things. I think the one doctor that I had who would have helped me best didn't want to play their game, and she did the best she could to get out, or they forced her out because she wouldn't cooperate, and they put someone in place who would cooperate. Everything that's happened to me, I'm a very important piece, and I hate to put myself on this pedestal, but the people who are harassing me, for example, the woman who has to look in my shopping cart, MK Ultra style, repetitively, on time, every time, this is related. If they can make me look insane, they can get me back into their facility, into a California State mental facility or a California State correctional facility. So then they can experiment on me further. Or if they've done something to me when I had to have surgeries, right, which were not at California facilities, these were private practice surgeries done using insurance that I've obtained through my 23-year career in the legal field, um, that would make this an elite thing, not a California state thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if something was implanted into me that allows them this access to my brain waves, whether it be through like a dental implant or when I had a surgery on my foot and I had to get put under, or when I had my fibroid surgery, I had to get put under 2 times. Um, so there are, oh, that goes back to, I don't know if I've already been sterilized, right? Feeble-minded people, all of the things I've spoken about, eugenics. Uh, I have conditions that maybe make me not ideal to reproduce with, but I'm smart. So you may want to take that, if you can use like a, what do they call it, a centrifuge or something, to separate my DNA and remove the bad genes from the good genes, and then combine that back into the next DNA sequence for the person that they're trying to clone in the, like, they're gonna make a test tube baby with parts of my DNA. You get me? It sounds crazy, but when you look at the Epstein files, it's not as crazy as you think it is. And when you think about the value of a human body, the organs, all of that, I think I'm a prime candidate for some elite bullshit. Let's talk about other things. More ways they've tried to make me go crazy or sound crazy. I've heard that for whatever reason on my YouTube lately, there have been commercials about ketamine depression treatment playing. And this goes into our devices are always listening, right? One of the reasons I have my phone in a Faraday bag, because I don't want it to have a connection to the internet, but I think that it has some kind of memory where even if it hears it, it will then, as soon as it gets back to able to connect to the internet, it will then push all that information and process it so that your phone is now prepped with the new programming. So I was walking through the hallway one day and one of my neighbors mentioned he just started the new ketamine treatment. I didn't know that they legalized that shit. Um, I thought that that was a drug that people used and fucking died from. It's a horse tranquilizer, right? Like, what the fuck? And then ever since that day, my YouTube now plays this one commercial about this aerosol spray. And now I have started believing that that spray, that smell that I was smelling earlier when I was walking through the hallway before before I kept my phones in the Faraday bag to exit the building so that I didn't have to come into contact with these 10 or so people, 5, 10 people. I think it's more than that, and the only ones I'm contacting every day is between 5 and 10 of the same people. But that smell in the hallway, I have reason now to believe that they were trying to make me have a nice dose of the ketamine treatment every day before I would go to work. Um, I am not depressed. I have zero depression. I have been in the past. Um, but I am not there, and I don't want to say it has anything to do with this forced ketamine depression treatment. But I, and I will say, even since I've had my phones in the Faraday bag, the smell of the treatment used to make me irate, and it, instead of making me a happier person or a calm down fucking catatonic person, the smell would make me so angry that I would go out yelling worse than I do on my YouTube rants. And it turned me into a bipolar. It turned me into the same person that I see when I have my Costco shopping cart. And so that makes me think maybe they've done this to her also. she is a victim of this internal prison, right? This prison without walls. And then she's trying to, she thinks I'm her. She thinks I'm one of them, and I'm not. I'm a free thinker. I'm not controlled. So anyway, ketamine depression treatment. They're talking about it in the hallway. Makes me think maybe that's what that stinky ass aerosol stink spray was that I used to smell every time when I would go to work. And that smell, I found out after using the Faraday bags, the building smells perfectly fine. It only stunk when they got the alert on their phone that I was heading through the hallway. The hallway only smelled when they were able to receive a notification about my movements being tracked. So now that they don't get the notification that I've just shut my door, now that they don't have the access to the one camera, right? Because I've removed access to certain cameras. Now that they don't have access to that, I can go to work without smelling the bullshit. So what they've now done is they've had people around me spray it and then walk around me. So I will say between 9 to 5 on a regular Monday through Friday, I have come into contact with the person that I have to communicate with regularly, who has on occasion come in smelling like my apartment building hallway, if you understand what I'm saying. Today at the car, yesterday, when I went to go get my oil changed, the people that pulled up for the oil change or whatever service after me, I guess they're on the same ketamine treatment, because it's that same smell that's designed to make me have a crash out. It's no longer a crash out. You guys smell like shit. Oh, it makes sense. You're depressed. That depression treatment is not doing anything as far as, I don't know what it's doing for your brain, but I'm going to look at you like you smell like shit. Are you depressed? I don't think that's a good treatment. And I now have these depressed people following me around. Either they're just K-holes, or I have depressed people following me around. Are all these people who are playing this stalker game, or who are part of this light bulb network, depressed? Are they all drug addicts? I don't know. And then I want to mention some of the other stalkers in my building, because I don't think that they're all just dumb. A lot of them have day jobs, and they're doing this. I don't know if they're doing it to supplement their income, because there's residents in this building who are not Section 8 residents. I am one of the people who pays the full price of rent. I don't pay market rent because I've been here 10 plus years. So long that Karen Bass had to send me a letter reminding me that I have one of the lowest rents in Los Angeles. So with that being said, Karen Bass knows I'm fucking here, so I'm okay. But if Karen Bass knows I'm here, does she know, like, she knows about the girl whose rent's even cheaper than mine? I wonder, is that girl being harassed and stalked too? Maybe she's not in the GATE program. Maybe she was not a ward of the court. For whatever reason, I have been put on a list as a person they think they can get away with this. And they can't. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. You guys think you're going to kill me? You killed yourself. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. If he didn't kill himself, somebody got to him. You're living a life that leads to an early grave. If my early grave comes, I will have saved somebody or created more of a narrative that fucks yours up. So I'm going to keep doing me, even if it kills me. I'm not Cappy. I'm not motherfucking the other guy that you fucking did this shit to. I'm not any of these motherfucking people. Right? I don't do drugs. I do. I smoke weed. Weed is a drug. So that's another thing I think that ketamine in the hallway treatment was, because the only way to make me look like a drug addict would be to get it in my body against my will. And because you have, like, my hair, I'm growing my hair out right now. So you can test my hair from 6 months ago and there's nothing in it. And you can test my hair from right now and there should be nothing in it. If there's anything in it, it has everything to do with them forcing that fucking stink ass spray in the hallway. That's MK Ultra shit. They tried to do it to what's his fucking name at the radio station with the acid. That's fucking MK Ultra shit. So anyway, let's go back. There's stalkers with opportunity, and there's skilled stalkers. Opportunity stalkers are the people who have day jobs where they are in positions like hotel manager or something, and they can give a room to maybe a lady of the night and her pimp or whatever, or like, this is, I'm talking about LA's secret network that they think, well, they don't care if you fucking know about it. They don't want people talking about it, which is why I'm talking about it, because it affects me now. If this shit didn't affect me, I probably wouldn't have shit to say about it, because I'd be in my own fucking world. But the minute that it started affecting me, I cannot shut up. And that's where you fucked up. So the plan is, and it has always been, for them to take my life. And this is just to, this is a propaganda. So what's going to happen is, eventually I will disappear, not by my own choice, not at my own will, not by my own hands. And then the narrative, people who are part of this network, they're going to say, see what happened to Margie? She wouldn't shut up. In order to make people stop fucking outing abusers. Do not ever fucking shut the fuck up. Abuse is abuse is abuse. These people belong in jail. If the people who run the jails are abusers, this is the world now. Speak the fuck up. If you were molested, do not be afraid to out your fucking molester. It is the time for you to do it right now. Don't be shamed. I told you, just like herpes, is 90% of the people, 80% of the people out there have fucking experienced that shit. Don't be ashamed. And if you haven't and have knowledge of someone who has, speak the fuck up. That's how Jeffrey Epstein got his fucking shit fucked up. We could do this. We can do this. It does not make sense to continue to have kids if you have trauma. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you are feeding into a system that's going to keep fucking kids up, is going to keep putting people who do not deserve to live a life of fucking bullshit in the gutter. Right? How is it that intelligent people who have created systems and things that these people have now destroyed are out on the streets? It's technology, because they're like, you have the dumbest fucking people using ChatGPT to steal your fucking job. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You got a little kid who's going to put 3 words into a search bar, going to take your fucking $100,000 a year job? Get the fuck out of here. Start talking about these abusers, because it all goes together. So that's going to be it for today. I'm not angry. I'm passionate, bitch. I'm black and Japanese. What else do you want to know about me? Potato nose, no. I don't mind potato nose. Did you see their fucking Olympic shit? No wonder you guys are hating so bad. You mad because Haiti got the fucking cover page on that shit. What are you mad about? What are you mad about? You're mad because you're not trying hard enough for your own shit. You'd rather destroy someone else's. I'll see you later.